Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Christian McCaffrey's brother suggested as potential draft target for Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers really need to add a wide receiver before the start of the 2024 NFL season. They don't have a WR2 right now and could end up turning to the draft to fix that if they don't find one in the next couple of weeks. However, they might not exclusively look at receivers who can fill that role. They could also look at some options later in the draft to round out their wide receiver room, and if they do, there could be an interesting prospect from a very famous family there for them. In an April 10 article discussing the Steelers' wide receiver options in the draft, The Athletic's Nick Baumgardner named Christian McCaffrey's brother, Luke McCaffrey, as a potential target for Pittsburgh. You listed one of them earlier, Luke McCaffrey from Rice. The son of Ed McCaffrey and brother of Christian McCaffrey, Luke is a big, explosive ex-receiver with some pretty great athleticism. He ran a 6.703 cone with a 4.02 short shuttle, showing great agility to go along with a 4.46 40. The McCaffreys are literally one of the most athletic families in this country. Hard to go wrong with that blood. It took a while for McCaffrey to really make his presence felt as a college football player. He joined Nebraska as a quarterback in 2019, but was initially used as more of a gadget player. McCaffrey completed 9 of 12 pass attempts for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns as a freshman. He ran the ball 24 times for 166 yards and a TD. He also made a catch for 12 yards. The following year he was up to 48 completions for 466 yards and 65 carries for 364 yards and a catch for 5 yards. The next year, he transferred to Rice and actually saw his role decrease. He completed 31 passes for 313 yards and carries the ball 41 times for 132 yards. He didn't make a catch. But he changed his role and changed his college career in the process. In his second season with the Owls, McCaffrey moved to wide receiver and quickly made his impact felt at the position. During the 2022 season, McCaffrey made 58 catches for 723 yards and 6 touchdowns. He also had 12 carries for 148 yards and a touchdown. He was even better in his final season at Rice. In 2023, McCaffrey made 71 catches for 992 yards and 13 touchdowns, and also had 15 carries for 117 yards. His strong finish to his college career could make McCaffrey an appealing option to join a Steelers wide receiver room that doesn't have a lot settled right now. The big story right now for the Steelers when it comes to receivers is that they need a WR2. That's probably not something they're going to address by taking McCaffrey late in the draft. However, there could still absolutely be a place in the wide receiver room for him. Right now, the best receivers on the roster, behind George Pickens, are Calvin Austin, Van Jefferson, and Quez Watkins. None of them reached 250 yards last season. They also don't have established roles on the team yet. Austin was the team's WR4 last year, finishing behind Allen Robinson with just 180 receiving yards. The other two are new additions. There is no reason that a rookie receiver taken late in the draft couldn't overtake those three to become the team's WR3. It certainly can't be the only move the team makes at wide receiver before the start of next season, but taking McCaffrey late in the draft could still improve their wide receiver room. Dolphins predicted to sign former 4-sack Steelers LB in bargain deal. The Miami Dolphins are viewed as a team that can use Marcus Golden, who most recently played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. In his bargain free agent contracts for teams to fill needs, David Kenyon of Bleacher Report listed the Dolphins as the team who would sign Golden. Kenyon has him signing a 1-year deal worth $1.5 million. Kenyon also mentioned the Denver Broncos and Atlanta Falcons as several landing spots. Bargains don't need to become surprise every down stars. The best production of Marcus Golden's career is likely in the past, yet he can still be an effective pass rusher. Last season, he only played 22% of snaps in Pittsburgh. He managed 4 sacks, and a 5th in the postseason, showing he can offer valuable depth at a particularly vital position. Now, the main question is whether Golden wants to prioritize playing time or a playoff run. If the former, the Denver Broncos are an appealing spot. If the latter, the Atlanta Falcons and Miami Dolphins are among the several landing spots that make sense. Consider it a suspicion that the 33-year-old, one with 4 career playoff games, will be eyeing a Super Bowl. Golden, a former second-round pick in 2015, had 4 sacks for the Steelers in 2023. The Miami Dolphins are dealing with injuries heading into next season. Jaelan Phillips is recovering from an Achilles injury and Bradley Chubb is recovering from an ACL injury. It's uncertain if both players will return at the start of the season. After an impressive offseason, landing Shaquille Barrett, Jordan Brooks, and others, there's still a need for another edge rusher, according to Joe Schad of the Palm Beach Post. The Miami Dolphins can't know for sure when Jaelan Phillips, Achilles, or Bradley Chubb, ACL, will return next season. Miami signed veteran pass rusher Shaq Barrett from the Bucs. And Barrett and the Dolphins believe there is something left in his 31-year-old tank. But Miami doesn't have much beyond Barrett. Unproven Quentin Bell, Zeke Vandenberg and Cameron Good return, but Good is also coming off a season-ending knee injury. Emmanuel Ogbah was cut. Andrew Van Ginkel signed with the Minnesota Vikings. Miami must add at least 2 edges in the draft and/or late-wave free agency. The former Pittsburgh Steelers edge rusher could be an option if the Dolphins don't address it in the draft. Despite playing limited snaps with the Pittsburgh Steelers, Golden proved with his 4 sacks that at the very least, he could still make plays. In the 2021 season, he showed that he was still one of the best in football getting to the quarterback, finishing with 11 sacks for the Arizona Cardinals. The Miami Dolphins could use all the depth they can get after losing multiple defensive players to free agency. The Dolphins will also have a new defensive coordinator in Anthony Weaver. Golden would be a depth piece, and for the $1.5 million that Kenyon predicts him to sign, there wouldn't be much of a financial risk for the Dolphins. Brandon Aiyuk's agent squashes trade request rumors. The NFL rumor mill was buzzing on social media Sunday morning after a self-dubbed NFL insider John Frashella shared that San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk had requested a trade. Unsurprisingly, the rumor spread like wildfire across social media. Aiyuk's agent, Ryan Williams of Athletes First Agency, denied the reports just hours after they had broke with a tweet of his own, stating, "You need better sources," in response. As previously noted, the rumors should have been taken with a massive grain of salt from the jump, given the limited track record of the insider, whose primary affiliation is as a fantasy football writer for Razzball. Though there's no doubt that the Steelers would be an excellent landing spot for Aiyuk, should San Francisco be unable to come to an agreement with the star wideout, there's still plenty of time for them to find common ground for an extension leading up to the season. Any trade rumors are probably just that, rumors. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation of Brandon Aiyuk? Leave your opinion in the comments.